The Gorgon's head.
Acrisius, king of Argos, came home from Delphi with a heavy heart, for he had received a dreadful oracle. "No sons shall be born to you," the priestess had told him. "But you shall have a grandson, and by his hand you shall die." Now the king had an only daughter, who was yet a maiden. So in his distress he thought, "I will evade my fate. I will shut Danae up away from the sight of men in a house of bronze all sunk underground." And he carried out his cruel plan. But Acrisius forgot to take the gods into account. Part of the roof of the house was open to the sky. And one day, as lovely Danae sat sadly looking up at the passing clouds, Zeus beheld the maiden. Changing himself into a shower of gold, he stormed into her chamber. When afterwards a son was born to Danae, she hid him from her father's sight. Nevertheless, the king discovered the baby and was more than ever filled with fear. He dared not kill little Perseus directly lest the gods avenge the murder. Instead, he had a great chest built, placed Danae and her boy in it, and set them adrift upon the sea. All day and all night the chest tossed upon the waves. Danae lulled her child with song, and he slept. But when dawn came, a great wave picked up the chest and carried it close to the tiny island of Seriphus. It happened that a fisherman, Dictys by name, saw the chest bobbing on the waves close to the shore. He dragged the box to land and opened it. When he beheld the pitiful mother with the helpless little child, his heart was moved. He took them both to his wife, for Dictys was childless, and there in the kindly fisher folk's humble home Perseus grew up. Now Danae had been a beautiful maiden. And when Perseus has grown into a fine tall youth, she was still beautiful. So it was not strange that King Polydectes, who was Dictys' brother, fell in love with her and made her his wife. But the king hated the youth just because Danae doted on him and sought some way to get rid of him. At last Polydectes said to his stepson, "The time has come, Perseus, for you to win glory for yourself in some bold adventure." Young Perseus thought so, too. But what should the adventure be? "I think," the wily Polydectes said, "it would be good idea for you to cut off the Medusa's head. That would bring you to the greatest fame." All unsuspecting, Perseus set off to find the Medusa, not knowing in the least how Perseus an adventure he had undertaken. For the Medusa was one of the 3 Gorgons, terrible winged monsters who lived alone on an island. They had teeth like the tusks of a boar, hands of brass, and snakes instead of hair. Perseus did not know where to look for the Gorgons. Nor did he know which of them was Medusa. And this was important, for Medusa was the only one of the 3 that could be slain. From place to place the prince went on his quest, getting more and more discouraged. Then one day he beheld a young man of great beauty, wearing winged sandals and a winged cap, and carrying in his hand a wand around which 2 golden serpents twined. Perseus knew at once that this was Hermes and was overjoyed when the god said, "Perseus, I approve the high adventure you have in mind. But you must be properly equipped for it. Without the winged sandals, the magic wallet, and the helmet of invisibility it will be difficult for you to slay Medusa. But I will take you to the Grey Women. You can find out from them, and will they indeed tell me?" Perseus asked. "Not willingly," Hermes replied. "But you can make them do it. They have but one eye shared among the 3. Snatch it from them as they pass it from one to another and none can see, and do not give it back till they tell you what you want to know." With that, Hermes gave Perseus a magnificent curved sword. "You will need it," he said, "for Medusa's scales are hard as metal." Perseus had just taken the sword when there was a sudden brightness in the sky, and he beheld the goddess Athene descending toward them. "Of what use will be your sword, my brother," she said to Hermes, "when none may look the Gorgons and live? The sight of them, as you well know, turns men into stone. Take my bright shield, Perseus. Look into it instead of at the monster as you approach to do battle, and you will see the Medusa reflected as in a mirror." And the goddess left. On and on with God companion, Perseus journeyed, farther than man had ever been. At last they came to the end of the earth. There the weird Grey Women sat, passing their eye from one to another just as Hermes had said. Danae's son knew what to do. He left the god and crept quietly towards them, waited till one had taken the eye from her forehead, and snatched it away as she passed it to her sister. The Grey Women raised a fearful clamor when they realized that a stranger had their eye. They howled and they threatened. But without the eye they were helpless, and in the end they grudgingly told Perseus the way to the nymphs of the north. When Perseus was fully equipped, he went to the dreaded island of the Gorgons. As he approached, he could see statues of men scattered across the roads and fields in which the Gorgons turned into stone. And at last, from high above, he beheld the monsters themselves reflects in his shield. Their scale-covered bodies glistered in the sun, their great wings were folded and the snakes that were their hair lay hideously coiled and intertwined. The Gorgons were asleep, but which of the three was Medusa? Perseus could see no difference among them. Suddenly he heard Athena's voice, "Descend, Perseus, and strike. The Gorgon nearest the shore is Medusa." Perseus swept down and still glazing to the shield, boldly swung his blade. With one stroke he cut off Medusa's head and put it in the magic wallet. After Perseus defeats Medusa by cutting off her head, the danger isn't over yet. Medusa's two Gorgon sisters wake up and try to chase him. Thankfully, Perseus escapes using the magical items given to him by the gods and placed Medusa's head in the magic wallet. On his journey back, Perseus encounters Andromeda, a princess who is chained to a rock as a sacrifice to a sea monster. He bravely saves her by slaying the monster. Perseus and Andromeda fall in love, and he takes her and marries her. When Perseus returns to his home island, he discovers that King Polydectes has been treating his mother Danae badly. To protect her, Perseus uses Medusa's head one last time and turns Polydectes into stone. Now that Polydectes is gone, Danae longs to return home and reconcile with her father. When they arrive in Argos, King Acrisius is away. At the same time, there were games being held in Larissa, and Perseus decides to join. During the event, when it is his turn to throw the discus, he accidentally hits an old man, killing him. Unaware that it is King Acrisius, the very man who went to cruel lengths to escape the prophecy. In that moment, the oracle is fulfilled, proving that no one can outrun the fate given by the gods. The end. The story is told in the third-person point of view, where a narrator describes what happens to Perseus. The tone is heroic and adventurous, and the mood is exciting and magical, especially during the scenes with the gods and the battle with Medusa. The story teaches that bravery, intelligence, and kindness can help overcome even the most dangerous challenges. It shows that using your mind wisely is just as important as being strong. It also reminds us that fate cannot be avoided. No matter how much we try to escape it, what is meant to happen will happen. Thank you.